Well, an update just dropping on us, literally while we were live with the last segment talking about what is a woman and how it was suppressed on Twitter, owned by Elon Musk, who says that he wants the network to be all about free speech. And he said that, hey, it's going to be fixed tomorrow. It'll be able to be shared by people, and it won't have the limitations across the board as it did yesterday. Well, just literally 15 minutes ago, he retweeted the video. Elon Musk retweeted the video saying every parent should watch this. So apparently there's no, superimposed warning on it as there was yesterday. Now the video is able to be widely shared, and Elon Musk saying every parent should watch this. He also replied to Tim Pool, who earlier this morning, if you're not familiar with Tim Pool, he's a podcaster, does social commentary, and makes music and a whole bunch of other stuff. Elon's facing the reality of going up against the world's political powers, and Elon replies saying, I am on Team Humanity. He also replied to Matt Walsh, Twitter will not let you retweet the film. It was from 11 hours ago, and Musk responding about 13 minutes ago saying, works now. Only limit is it will not be placed next to advertising. So, again, still a few little tweaks there from Elon Musk in handling Twitter and free speech. So just wanted to get that update out there for you. But completely changing topics now. And if you wanted to see the conversation about, what is a woman and some of the phone calls, you could see the segment on the YouTube channel. Just search me out, Bishop on Air. Let's talk about concerts. 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. What's your favorite concert, or what's your least favorite concert? Good concert experiences, bad concert experiences. Let's hear about it. I love live music. I used to be in a band, used to perform on stage, had a great time doing it, and I love going to concerts. A variety of different types of concerts, and I really enjoy music thoroughly. It's a joy that really just keeps me going at times. And I have a very eclectic music taste. But I think that the best, most recent concert I went to was the 25th anniversary of South Park. Megan, my wife, and I, we traveled to see some friends in Colorado at Red Rocks, and it was the first time we'd ever been to Red Rocks. Always heard so much about it. But this concert, the South Park 25th anniversary, had Primus and Ween on stage with the guys from South Park performing Primus songs, Ween songs, and South Park songs. That was absolutely magical. There was something about it. I think Comedy Central ended up putting up a edited version of the concert, and it's just over the top, ridiculous. That was a good time. But I've been to concerts large and small. I've been to arenas that are jam-packed with people for, say, a Nine Inch Nails concert or a Tool concert. I've been to medium-sized theaters where, for instance, Ween sells out 3 nights in a row in Chicago. Years ago, that was one heck of a show. I went to 2 of those 3 shows. But I've also been to, small, really just densely packed 200, 300 people rock shows that are just as explosive as some of those large arena shows. But I want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite or worst concert experiences? 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. This, as you've got headlines out of the Chicago Tribune, that Taylor Swift Chicago shows, how to get to Soldier Field, where to buy merch, and how to comply with the bag policy. Chicago Sun-Times says what to know ahead of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. Is it Eras Tour in Chicago? One of the most anticipated events of the summer comes to town this weekend as Taylor Swift makes a 3-night stop in Chicago in the middle of her U.S. leg on her Eras Tour. Are you a Taylor Swift fan? I don't know much about Taylor Swift. I think it's like a little bit country, a little bit hip-hop, or I don't even know what kind of music she does. But it's going to be a big concert up there, no question. Hopefully they get the traffic situation figured out, as they weren't able to do with a Janet Jackson concert recently. This coming from Forbes, and I've seen this reported elsewhere as well. While Janet Jackson dazzles, some fans left stranded during Chicagoland tour stop. So what ultimately happened here was apparently there was some traffic that was so condensed that some people who had tickets to go to that Janet Jackson concert, well, quite frankly, they they couldn't make it to the concert. Some people say they hit the road at 7, but they couldn't get to their seat until well after 10 when there was just, like 15, 20 minutes left of a concert. So there's been people demanding to get refunds and whatnot. So have you experienced that type of thing? And what's your favorite concert experience or your worst concert experience? I will say, when I was younger, I would get into mosh pits. I would go and throw elbows just like everybody else. And there were times, I remember at a Deftones concert, gosh, I must have been like 18 or 19 years old. I think I can't remember the venue in St. Louis. It wasn't the Pageant, but great show. I got into the pit and started throwing around, holding my own. But then I kind of leaned down and somebody came in with a knee and just clocked me right in the forehead. I had to kind of crawl out of the pit, a little dazed, but then I got right back up and was like, yeah! So mosh pits are always fun. I remember here in Springfield when Slipknot came to town, one of my buddies brought a mask, like, a full face mask, and he had another one in his car, and I put that on, and I just bolted right to the front of the crowd and quickly realized the mask was not the best idea in a dense crowd while they're moshing to a Slipknot song. Because I quickly got a little lightheaded and was like, okay, this mask has to come off. So that may not have been the best concert experience. But I've been in mosh pits as well at a Nine Inch Nails show where I remember so vividly. It was with my wife, Megan, my girlfriend at the time, and her friend, Marisa. And we're in Chicago. We're right up on the rail next to the stage. And I'm literally holding on to both sides of the rail, trying to keep thousands of people from crushing us. And I'm trying to keep my body weight. So the whole time I'm sitting there with them in between my arms and the rail and just trying to hold off thousands of people behind me. And if you've never been to a Nine Inch Nails show, they will just hit you in the face over and over again with heavy industrial metal songs. And then they'll go into some of their more ethereal, slow songs, right? So I'm there while they're playing like Wish, and I'm holding the fort, and then they go into a more subtle song, and I had to take a break. I remember telling Megan and Marisa, like, guys, I gotta go get a drink. So I walked off exhausted, and the concert was not even half over. So great experience. I don't know if I want to do that again. Now I'm of the mind where I'd rather get seats and enjoy the concert from afar. The next show I've got planned, I think, at least from my understanding, I got to look at my calendar, but I'm going to see Ween down in St. Louis. That should be a good time. It's at a new venue I've never been to, so we'll see what that's all about. But I'd like to hear your best or worst concert experiences. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
One of the best concerts I ever saw was in Colorado. It was a Faith Plus One concert.
Faith Plus One? Isn't that? I just watched that South Park episode not too long ago. And that's the one where Cartman makes a bet with his buddy Kyle.
And finds out.
Yeah, because they're in a band and they're just not doing great. And Cartman says, "I bet I can get a platinum album before you do." And Kyle's like, "No, I bet you $10 you can't." And then they split up, and Cartman goes and creates a Christian rock band, and it's really successful. Even though his intentions are to get a platinum album, not to praise God. But he ends up getting the $1 million sale or the million sales of his album. But it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a platinum album. It was a myrrh album. And he's like, "Can I ever get platinum?" Well, you can get double myrrh. So he ended up losing the bet anyways.
Kind of like Jesus a little too much.
Yeah. So good. That's funny. I appreciate that. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
What's going on?
Hey,
that was one of the shows that stuck out in my mind in my tour days was Ramones with Blondie and Talking Heads. It was a trip up in Tinley Park, Chicago.
Holy cow! I bet that was quite a show. Because you've got a diverse array there of the punk and whatever the Talking Heads produces. They're pretty eclectic as well.
Well, they all kind of got their start in New York City, you know, at the CBGBs.
Right.
So they were kind of together. But my surprise band was Mott the Hoople in '70. That took me by surprise.
I've never heard them.
Excellent.
What's the
And
band called?
more recent, industrial Rammstein blew me away.
Rammstein.
Oh, yeah. That'll wake you up.
No question. Yeah, Du Hast and the whole collection of Rammstein songs. We are living in America, America.
Well, you
it's
said Nine Inch
wonderful.
Nails, and, you know, they were kind of that way, too, with that
Oh,
sound.
yeah.
But it was good. And the last thing was you were talking about Slipknot, and I was talking to Corey when they were here, and those masks.
Yeah.
He said the stuff that got inside those masks was not human.
Oh, I bet.
It
They
made
wear
him
these things
sick.
for hours at a time every day, and it's not just wearing them. They are jumping all over the place and sweating and gross and ugh.
Yeah, they ended up throwing them away or burning them. Ain't that something? But that's my choice so far.
Right on.
And overrated, Bruce Springsteen. I'm sorry to say it. It was one of the most boring shows I have ever seen.
Did you bring a pillow and have to fall asleep?
Yeah, I grew a beard. I had to shave. Okay, man.
I appreciate it. He's got some good concerts lined up there. Everything from seeing the Ramones and the Blondie and the Talking Heads to Rammstein and seeing and talking with Slipknot when they've been in town. That's pretty cool. Appreciate the calls on that. It is Springfield's Morning News on WMA.